what's up? It's Mary, and long time no see, right? Yeah, it's just been crazy with finals and like school and then moving. But I'm back with another video, and it's college themed too, which I know you guys love. So if you do like my college videos, then obviously a thumbs up and comment down below what other kinds of college videos you'd like to see. So anyways, today we're going to be going to the Pinterest side and the room decor side of college life. So I'm going to be kind of like debunking some of the pins I saw on Pinterest, especially when I was in your shoes, you know, going into college, or if you're a transfer, you've never been in a dorm before, so this would be perfect for you. You know, sort of my older people that's been in school for a while and been living in the dorms kind of, you know, they kind of know what I'm talking about when they're going on Pinterest. Like, I don't think this is quite how dorms look like, or how did the fire marshal not, like, give you, like, a $300 fine for having that. So yeah, so I'm going to be just going through, you know, some topics of things I kind of see on Pinterest, especially like some subcategories, and just talking about my experiences. But of course, they might be different from your experiences. So, you know, comment down below, like, what's different, or if I said something, you're like, oh, no, like, that's totally fine at my school, or, you know, like, that's totally fine, like, I didn't get a fire notice for that or anything. But yeah, because everyone's school is different, but this is just kind of like generalized, and I especially go to a public university, so maybe private schools might be different. I don't know, because I don't go to a private college and I don't live in their dorms. I only live in a public kind of dorm, so maybe our fire regulations are different. But yeah, I still think this will be helpful for everyone regardless of what kind of college you go to, because I still think they're kind of like general and would apply to everyone, because I really try to do it so it would be most exclusive as possible. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is just kind of like in general. So, you're going to be probably, you know, typing on Pinterest, dorm decor, dorm inspiration. You're going to get pictures like these. And even though they're total goals, your college probably isn't going to look like that or be anywhere near that. It's probably going to be more looking like these. And so, you kind of have to, like, you know, just make your expectations there. Like, that's totally fine if you want to have like an inspiration board, you know, things that like kind of won't happen, but you know, you just want to inspire and get some ideas about like themes and like colors and like how to match patterns and stuff, then definitely look at them. But like, don't think your dorm's gonna be looking like that. I mean, there's some colleges where they do look like that, and oh my god, I wish I went to them, but unfortunately your school's probably not gonna look like that. So just like really go on Res Life, your school's Res Life, and like see what their dorms look like so you know what you're getting yourself into. Like, especially if you have like wood furniture and stuff, like that's gonna be different than if you bring your own furniture, because that's gonna like change up the game a little bit. So definitely even just take a tour of them so you know like how to play around with stuff and how your lighting's gonna work and your windows and stuff, because that's like big, and like it's hard to get that from Pinterest unless you literally type in your school's name onto Pinterest, which I did, but there wasn't that many pins. So yeah, so I just recommend, you know, really understand what you're going into, because that'll definitely help you, especially when you're like trying to pick out, you know, decor in the beginning, because if you have wood furniture, or if you bring your own, they're white, or if your windows, you can add curtains and stuff, so it would really help you like just narrow, you know, what kind of thing you're getting into and what you should really focus on. Alright, so the first thing I want to debunk is rugs. So I know we're on Pinterest and we're Googling, you know, those facts, like fur rugs, and they're like white and they're gorgeous, and I just want one like everywhere in my room. But please do not bring that to your dorm room. It will get disgusting. It will not be white by the end. Trust me. I brought this like really nice like blue, minty, like green kind of rug, and it was just like disgusting by like the first semester. It was just like awful. So my good rule of thumb is like just don't bring a rug that's going to show the dirt very easily, because I don't know, people have different rules about their dorm room, but for me personally, I wore my shoes inside my dorm room, which is weird because I don't wear my shoes inside my house. But like, I was always wearing my shoes in my dorm room. So obviously my rug got really disgusting. And also, I have a lot of friends over and they're always wearing their shoes. So just between everyone and their shoes, that rug was just like not happening. So maybe if you want to make like, you know, you want to talk to your roommate about like taking off your shoes before you go into the dorm room, then like maybe, but like also you might have visitors too, and your visitors may not know to take off their shoes. So I just think bringing like a light colored rug is just not a good idea in general. Now of course you want to have like a small one that you take out or you put right next to your bed or something where you know it's not going to get dirty, then, you know, go for it and try it. But like, I just don't recommend getting like a big area rug that's like white or light blue or something, because it's just going to get disgusting. But if you want to try like a more neutral one or something that's not going to show the dirt as easily, then by all means go for it. Because, like, I think rugs look very nice, and I don't like really, like, the white, like, sterile-looking floors, but at the same time, like, I don't want to get them really dirty. So I think it's, like, a trade-off. And you can find a rug that works for you, or you get, like, one, like, really cheap from, like, a thrift store that you don't really care about what happens to it. Then go for it, but I just don't recommend bringing, like, a nice rug that you don't want to get super dirty into a dorm room. So that's my first debunk about Pinterest. Alright, so the next thing I kind of want to debunk is that when you're, like, looking up dorm decor, and, like, there's a lot of stuff that's hanging and on the walls and stuff. So I'm just going to tell you the real story about this, and, like, maybe my experience might be different than yours, especially when it comes to, like, command hooks and, like, when we start getting to, like, fire hazards. But for me personally, first, don't bring command strips to your dorm room. Please don't do it. I put them everywhere in my dorm room, and then when I went to take them off, it, like, ripped off all my paint. So that sucked, and I had to become, like, weekend warrior to, like, fix my walls before, like, checkout, before, like, I got charged for everything. So I really don't recommend command hooks, because even my sister's one, it ripped hers too. Like, maybe it's just a SUNY thing and we don't use good paint. But it's just in general, like, just don't bring them. Like, use tacks, unless, like, your school, like, has a, like, specific policies, like, no tacks, use command strips. But, like, generally, if your school tells you not to use command hooks or command strips, it's probably for a good reason, because it will probably rip the paint. And my school's really awesome, because they gave us tacks right when we checked in. And tacks are, like, super cheap, too, so it's not really, like, a huge deal. So, yeah, I just really recommend, like, actually, like, listening to them, because there actually is a good reason for it. They're not just being, like, crazy about it. One thing, though, that I did use command hooks for was my wood furniture, and it did not, like, yet rip off anything. But just in general, I just don't recommend bringing command strips into anything. So this is where it's, the hanging stuff's going to get interesting, because I recommend if you can't put a tack in it, or you can't just, like, tape it to your wall, then you probably shouldn't be bringing it. And as, like, a subcategory, I kind of want to talk about tapestries, too. So I think tapestries are super cute, and, like, they will add, like, nice color to your dorm room, which is, like, very, like, bland and stuff, and it's a great way to, you know, add, like, a pop color or, like, a nice design or something. So I'm all for tapestries. But the one problem is you really gotta look into your school's fire code about this. Because, like, my school's fire code was, like, it can't cover any more than 20% of the wall. So, like, that kind of sucks, and that's kind of, like, a bummer. So you don't want to have to be, like, taking it down every month for fire checks. And then especially when the fire marshal comes, you're not paying, like, $500 for a tapestry. So I just recommend, like, maybe holding off or getting one that you know you might, like, you could use as, like, a blanket on your bed or something. Or, you know, like, maybe it's like, oh, if I can't bring my dorm room, I'll just hang it up in my room at home. Because, like, it might get, like, tricky, because those tend to be a gray area. And I think in my sister's college, she couldn't even have tapestries in the first place. So, yeah, I just recommend, you know, actually reading your fire code about that. Because it's, like, it really sucks, because I had to take mine down, like, every single month. And it was just, like, a pain. So, yeah, I just recommend, like, looking into that before you buy it. And, of course, like, if your school's, like, nothing on it, then it's totally fine. Just, like, buy one, like, right off the bat. Like, I think they're super cute, and, like, I'm not trying to be a total, like, buzzkill here, but I just recommend, like, being careful, because you're starting to get into, like, a gray area with, like, fire hazard. Alright, so next thing I want to talk about is bringing furniture into your dorm room. So, you know, you obviously see some super cute dorm rooms that have, like, all this furniture in it, and, like, these little carts and stuff. But I would really, again, be careful and actually look at what dorm room you're getting and the size, and also, you know, what your roommate's bringing and stuff. Because, like, if it's a nightstand, then you're probably okay, but honestly, anything else, I'd really hold off on getting until, like, you actually, like, are in your dorm room or see it, or you know what you're getting yourself into with, like, space and stuff. Because I'd rather, like, have you, you know, switching out your clothes and, like, other stuff in between the off semesters. Like, I understand everyone's different. Like, maybe you can't go home that often until your winter break. And maybe you live, like, really close to home like I do, like, within, like, 2 to 3 hours, so it's easier for you to switch out clothes. But I'd really recommend, instead of, like, trying to bring every single, like, clothing that you own and bring all this, like, extra storage stuff, just really try to bring, like, what you would need for that season. And then just, like, really limiting what kind of furniture you bring, because I just honestly, especially for the room I live, and then also just seeing the rooms in general for my school, you honestly can't really bring much extra furniture items, unless if it's, like, a nightstand or something. So also keep that in mind, too, because if you need this extra furniture stuff, you probably, like, if your school gives you furniture, and then if you still think you need extra furniture, you probably are bringing too much stuff to begin with. Sorry I say that, like, trust me, I love to bring stuff, too, like, and I have, like, probably the most stuff out of, like, anyone on my floor. But just really be careful. But I do recommend if you have like a plastic like 3-drawer thing, that fits pretty good into my closet, and I use that. And I don't even have a nightstand. I just use like my little windowsill. So again, like that's just different on everyone's room. If your college doesn't give you furniture, then obviously you're going to need furniture. So then feel free to do it. But again, that's dependent on your school. But if your school does give you furniture, then you're probably not going to be bringing much of your own furniture. Because again, you honestly just won't have the space, and you probably are bringing too much stuff to begin with, and your stuff you're really never going to need. Alright, so the last thing I'd like to debunk is anything that has to deal with candles. Okay, so again, everyone's school might be a little different, but I still think this is pretty universal. Please don't bring candles to your dorm room, even if they're just for decoration and you swear you're never gonna like light them or anything. It is like a serious fire hazard, because like obviously it like has a fire like in it. So I just really would recommend anything having to do with candles or like stuff like that, even if it's just for decoration, like please, please, please do not bring them. Unless it's for religious reasons, obviously then your school probably has special policies on that, so that's something you can check up or always call your res life about. But in general, just please don't bring candles. Other alternatives that I found are wax melts. I really like them and I think they're really nice. Or like wallflowers for like fragrance. But unfortunately, candles are just one of those things that it's not going to happen. So just don't even bother packing them, because it's definitely probably not even going to happen. So sorry again. I love my candles. Trust me. I think they're so relaxing. I love the aurora. But fire hazards, and I'm not trying to get like a strike or like have to pay the fire marshal tons of money, and also it's just gonna be like so much annoying just to hide them. Like it's just like this tiny candle, so like it's just not even worth it. So just again, just please don't even bring it. Alright guys, so that's all. I hope this is super helpful, and I hope it wasn't too much of like a buzzkill. I still think like decorating your dorms is like super hard, especially doing it without getting like fire hazards and like your rugs getting all gross. So I do think it takes some time, so like don't be like, you know, super discouraged of like when you first move in you thought all this decor is going to look really nice, and then like some of it's like a fire hazard, you have to bring it home and stuff, and then all of a sudden your dorm's looking like kind of like sad. So it does really take some time to like really fine tune, you know, what kind of colors you're going to have in your dorm room, like how do you, like what kind of vibes you want to establish. So I still think, you know, it takes time, so like don't feel discouraged and like please don't say, oh my god, my dorm is going to be like super basic, because like I was going to put a tapestry and I was going to have candles and now I can't bring any of that stuff. But yeah, so hopefully this at least gives you a heads up when you are shopping for dorm decor, and also just other dorm stuff in general that you know to avoid, or oh, I have to check that before I get that. Especially as you go on to orientation, you're going to start, like, you know, you really see the dorm rooms and stuff and you live in them, so you're going to better, you know, understanding of how, like, the furniture and how much space you have. So hopefully this is just like a heads up to pay attention to these things. And yeah, so if you have any more questions, feel free to comment down below and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. But again, everyone's dorm and like res life and housing and like fire hazards are all different. So it was really hard for me to say what is and what isn't, but I think still tapestries and candles kind of always fall into the fire hazard category, so there's stuff you might want to avoid. While like rugs, they're never really a fire hazard, but like they just always get gross. So yeah, so hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully you can use some of this stuff, at least like one or two. And still use Pinterest to help give you like ideas and stuff. Like it is an awesome site, but just, you know, be realistic and like don't think you're going to be getting, oh, I'm going to have like all this white furniture and I'm going to have candles and stuff. Because it's probably not going to happen. But you know, so get ideas of like how to like what colors you want in your room, what patterns, how you want your room to flow and vibe. So I hope this is helpful, and see you guys soon.